Howdy, I'm EpicCoolGuy923, and I would like to express my gratitude for your interest in this video. Before we begin, I want to apologize for yet another production delay. I know you have all been patiently awaiting the full series release, and I am sorry that all this waiting has yielded almost nothing to show for it. I take full responsibility for the series still being in development well after the scheduled release date. Hopefully you can remain patient as I continue crafting over 6 hours of content covering the complete history of Imperia. As we celebrate Imperia's 4th birthday today, I wanted to share a taste of what I've been working on behind the scenes. The following presentation is a short excerpt from episode 1 of my upcoming 8-part Imperia Retrospective. This should give you an idea for what the rest of the series has in store. In addition, this provides me the opportunity to get valuable feedback that will help me make the final production even better than it already will be. With that said, I thank you for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy this extended preview. To understand how Imperia came to be, we must wind the clocks back to November of 2019, a time just before COVID when Queen Elizabeth was still alive and well, and for Minecraft YouTubers, geopolitical Earth servers were all the rage. Popular content creators like FitMC and Technoblade all flocked to geopolitical servers like SMP Earth. These YouTubers brought this little-known genre of Minecraft servers to the mainstream, and it quickly grew in popularity from there. During this time, I was in the middle of one of my hiatuses from Minecraft. It had been a few years at that point since I was last deeply involved with the Minecraft community. This had been in a server called Original Gamers, or OG for short. I was recruited to the server sometime between 2013 and 2014 while playing factions on another server. This was most likely the Archon, as I was a big Camping Rusher fan at the time. Initially, I got deeply invested into OG's Skyblock mode and forged friendships with players like DerpyLover2003 and Mod. Skyblock has always been one of my favorite Minecraft maps, and OG's version of it was just as fun. I especially enjoyed touring other people's islands and seeing what they had built. I recall one of my favorite islands being a cool treehouse village someone had made. A giant jungle forest spanned the entirety of their island, with an abundance of tree houses and walkways linking it all together. It was in many ways very akin to the Ewok village from Star Wars, and I much enjoyed seeing them build it out over time. I played Skyblock almost daily until it was shut down sometime in late 2014 so that they could focus on some of their other game modes. With the end of Skyblock, I was forced to play one of their other game modes. Like the Archon, OG also had factions, but no one really played it. As a result, I was forced to migrate over to their prison mode to still be a part of the community. While I originally wasn't all that interested in playing on a prison server, I grew to enjoy it over time. Original Gamers at its core was known for their prison mode. It's what they did best. In retrospect, it should have been no surprise that they would shut down their lesser played game modes to focus on their cash cow. The popularity of their prison mode translated it into being an extremely profitable server. OG sold most everything you would expect, such as ranks, crate keys, and cosmetics. They also sold special plot mines that you could purchase and have installed by one of the admins. When installed, you could mine resources from your own plot instead of at one of the warps. I personally recall all the time spent scheming ways I could obtain $300 to purchase their original rank. While $300 is a staggering amount of money to pay for a rank on a Minecraft server, people paid it. I think that speaks volumes to the kind of server that Original Gamers was. Players enjoyed the server so much that some were willing to spend $300 on a single rank. To put that into perspective, you could gift 30 people a copy of Minecraft for that kind of money. This also speaks to how most everything on the shop had a good value proposition. Not only were you supporting the server, but you were getting some great perks out of your money. For instance, each rank gave you access to a special warp with a custom mine and access to rank-specific shops. At these shops, you would have access to a selection of exclusive building blocks and special admin shops for selling loot obtained from the mines. Each rank also came equipped with a special kit that contained special armor and tools. The tools were highly sought after for their efficiency and durability in the mines. With a high-powered pickaxe, you could effortlessly carve up an entire mine and increase your server balance with ease. These kits refreshed weekly, and some players had entire shops built around selling the items they got from the rank kits. This enabled even free-to-play players the opportunity to get their hands on these special rank items. I quite enjoyed that Original Gamers never felt like it was a pay-to-win server, even though the ranks clearly gave you an advantage. There were even some players with plot shops that bought diamonds and emeralds for more money than what you would get at the rank warps. Og managed to find a good middle ground between giving ranks worthwhile perks while still giving free-to-play players a chance to compete. While I was never able to acquire the original rank, I owned the Og rank, which cost about $100 at the time. This was the third best rank on the server, and for as much time as I spent playing on original gamers, I feel like I got my $100 back and then some in personal enjoyment. I finally remember all the silly ways I attempted to make money and ascend the mines on my quest towards freedom. One such money-making method involved the creation of scam shops at my plot. These would involve creating shops that on the surface seemed like a tremendous value, but through clever trickery would scam the player out of millions. One such method involved using decimal points instead of large numbers. Players who did not notice the decimal point were fooled into thinking that they would be making a fortune at my shop. Instead of selling an inventory of emerald blocks to me for, let's say, 100 million, they would get little more than a dime in return. Another benefit of this money method was that it only took one button click to scam a player out of an entire inventory worth of product. This was a byproduct of setting the quantity to 2,304, so with one click of the sign, would instantly sell me all of the available blocks in their inventory. I could then take those blocks to the Og Warp and sell them all to the admin shop for instant cash. Naturally, this method wasn't all that reliable. Those who were scammed by my shops would usually broadcast their frustrations in the chat, and other players were quick to take note and avoid my shops. However, I only needed one person at a time to fall for my tomfoolery, as I could make upwards of $400 million from a single transaction. In addition to finding clever ways to make a quick buck, I had great fun building towering skyscrapers on my plot. Each floor would be decorated and feature a variety of different shops. I'm not sure why, after all these years, I keep building skyscrapers, but they are now a symbol of mine in a way. I also recall one iteration of my plot that featured a giant pyramid. Inside the pyramid was a labyrinth that you would have to traverse to find the various rooms or chambers. There was also one time where I had built a giant chicken farm on my plot and let it run overnight. The chickens reproduced faster than the rate to which they were dying, and it nearly brought the server to its knees. While I greatly enjoyed the server, I gradually grew out of Minecraft sometime during high school. This could be contributed in part to natural fatigue of the game, but also to the state of the server at the time. Ownership had changed hands several times during my time on Og, and by the time I stopped playing, so too had many of the server's regulars. It was a slow and painful death for the server that I and so many had called home. Current ownership failed to make necessary changes, and by the end of 2019, the server was all but dead. I distinctly remember an exploit towards the end of the server that placed the players inside creative mode when you entered a certain point at spawn. This enabled you to take whatever you wanted and needed for your plot, including bedrock and spawn eggs. To my knowledge, the server owner never found out about it and didn't notice any of the bedrock structures on my plot. Looking back on it, Og had almost everything you could have asked for in a Minecraft server during its heyday. Og had a thriving community, fun events, engaging gameplay, worthwhile ranks, and a halfway decent staff team. I didn't know it then, but my experiences on the original Gamers Prison server would shape how I helped run Imperia.